Scott, I'm so excited to be here today at your headquarters and to have an opportunity to have a conversation about the issues that are affecting your company, you as a partner, and the industry as a whole. So thank you.
Carla, thank you for being here at Coca-Cola. I think what's great about NAMA and our partnership with the industry is our ability to look at real business issues, come up collectively with a set of solutions, and then work them together to the end. And we've got multiple examples of how we've done that in the past. If it's FDA, if it's sugar-sweetened beverages, if it's the way we look at metallurgy, and if it's refrigerants. Those are all examples of things that we've been able to accomplish over the last several years. And without this collaborative effort, we couldn't have done it alone.
Well, okay, so great softball, right? Because, I mean, that really is the power of associations. That's why they are created, that's why they exist. It's often the case where constituents come together around a common issue or a common cause that they want to give voice to, or they want to create momentum around. And that often happens, in a trade association, that often segues into the bucket of advocacy. So if you're willing, let's talk a little bit about advocacy, the power of advocacy, why you value it corporately, why you value it as an industry, and just what you've seen in your interactions with NAMA in the advocacy playbook.
Yeah, I would say it's a journey that we've been on together, right? Advocacy has multiple layers, right? It's a multi-level. We could work it in a silo and we would not be as effective as we work together. And when I think about the business issues we've worked on, they start with really a grassroots effort, right? Many times people see Coca-Cola as this big conglomerate, this big corporation, but we're actually a bunch of individuals that work in communities that live normal lives that feel the impact of legislation or regulations, and it's our ability to take that grassroots element, bring it together with a holistic view of our customers and our consumers that allow us to succeed in the marketplace.
Well, and that is the power of the voice. Relationships, whether it be in business or whether it be in advocacy or any other way, right, are one-on-one, and it's local. So take our fly-in, for example, where our members come, and I know you've participated that, year over year. They go and meet with their elected officials and they talk about their businesses and their issues as an individual, but they also represent the industry writ large, and together we're a lot more powerful, right? So issues. Let's talk about one that might be near and dear to all of our hearts, calorie disclosure.
I think about where we were 5 years ago on this topic, and I think as an industry, we made a choice at that point that we need to lean in and look at this in a more holistic view. And at the Coca-Cola Company, we look at it through the lens of the consumer. So we provide beverages for those who want them on different occasions. They want it through different day parts. And we've seen some trends that have occurred really over the last decade that shows a shift in consumption behavior. So we've got more people drinking better-for-you beverages today, but we want to make all our beverages available to consumers when they want it. Now, having said all that, we want to be very transparent about what's on the label, what's in the package. And we started this Clear on Calories campaign years and years ago with the help of NAMA, with the help of our operators, and ultimately with our host clients.
Well, and as you know, as part of the Affordable Care Act, the government required vending to disclose calories, which when the officials who wrote the rules came up with how that should operationalize, it was onerous. It wasn't practical. And I don't know how many people realize how much work NAMA did with other partner organizations, including the American Beverage Association, the Confectioners Association, the Snack Food Association, and individual companies like Coke to give voice to, yes, we'll comply with your regulations, but this is how we recommend that it be implemented. And that led to front of pack. And so the outcome was that NAMA was able to represent the interests of not just operators, but of consumer product good companies, of machine manufacturers, of distributors, and of operators in creating a win-win solution. To me, that's the power of advocacy.
And having been part of that journey, what I found being very powerful was the voice of the operator, the voice of the customer came together with a solution that was tenable versus what was being proposed by the FDA originally. So the iteration, the way to move through this in multiple different avenues allowed us to get to a joint solution that we're all going to be happy with in the industry.
Right? And that's a civics lesson. Okay, so while we're still talking about advocacy, the history, and probably mostly in vending, there's a long history of what I would call punitive or regressive taxes, luxury taxes, if you will, on the products that are sold through our channel that are also sold in others, but that are scrutinized or evaluated differently and punished. And we've seen this happen at the federal level and at the state level with battles like what happened in Cook County. How are you seeing any changes? Is our consumer behaviors affecting this? Where's that going?
Yeah, I think it really starts with where are consumers moving? How are they consuming our beverages? Again, what occasions? How are they enjoying it? We need to make sure they have a wide breadth of choice available to them. Now, the consumption behaviors change. People want more still beverages, right? So if you look at our industry, we're roughly 60% of our beverages are sugar sweetened beverages, 40% still. And it should be inverted. So when we look at our research data, it says we should have much more of a balanced view on that. So we at the Coca-Cola Company are certainly leaning in on that. And we would ask most of our operators take a broad view and say, will this work for their environment?
Yeah, I think from NAMA's perspective and from an industry perspective, we see the potential, we see consumer behavior changing, and yet we feel the obligation to provide a wide variety of choice. So the tricky part for whether it be advocacy or just tenable operations is where to be on that continuum. So NAMA is trying to find its place in leading the industry toward meeting consumer demand by creating a wider selection of all these products and services as we continue our way forward, moving away from being punished for selling what people want by providing everything they want in whatever form or fashion. I remember when I worked in the payments industry, it's like, why would you not offer every form of payment and make it easy for people to get what they want? So our mantra is working with our partners, our members, our operators, and our CPG companies to make it all available and give the consumer what they want.
Yeah, I think in the day, consumers vote with their wallet, and if you make the right brands and right packages available to them, you'll win.
Yep. And maybe we'll have a different advocacy agenda, right?
I think so.
So the last thing that is sort of top of mind for me in the advocacy bucket has to do with our fastest growing channel, and that's Micromarkets. So I'm going to own this as unattended retail. And yes, it's in the business and industry space, but it really is unattended retail. And as product lines go, it's gotten the attention of legislators and regulators around, well, what is that thing and how does it operate and can we tax that? So I'll speak on NAMA's behalf. We've been hard at work, both at the federal level, creating a definition in the food code of what these retail outlets are so that there's a ubiquitous approach around the country, and also fighting little incursions at state and municipal levels. But talk to us about what you see as important, both as a business line and also advocacy around micromarkets.
Yeah, I think consumers, back to the consumer view, are looking for personalization. They're looking for things that can be tailored to them, and that allows our traditional vending business to morph into the micro-market solution. Now, it's a new venue. It's a new set of solutions, and folks at times will look at that as a new revenue stream. So I think NAMA taking the leadership view of defining micro-markets, be very clear on that, both at the local, state, and federal level, allows us to expand and grow faster. These new ideas, we can always start to iterate again on the format of the store, the offering, and we'll be in a better place to serve the needs of those consumers.
Well, you've been a long-time participant in the NAMA Fly, and you've seen it over its evolution. What's your favorite thing, or what's your hope for the 2019 event?
I think it's partnership and it's relationships. And many times you don't have the ability to meet the wide breadth of constituents that are there. So if it's operators, if it's other suppliers, if it's government officials, it's really that triangle that allows us to understand issues, have discussions around it, and make progress in our local communities, as well as serving a broader goal.
Well, you know what they say, people do business with people they know and like. So I hope you'll be with us in July. I invite everybody in the industry to join us in Washington for the fly-in and let your voice be heard. We do great things together.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you, Scott.